I'll have you know it took me 20 minutes to model this box. Okay, so anyway.
I did round corners on mine.
Well, what I wanted to do here is I just wanted to this is the new one. I went ahead and hid the other one. It's still included, but this is our new fracture tool. And one of the first things that I immediately fell in love with was that it's almost real time, so that uh, you can just scrub values and see see
Well,
quickly. So
you say almost real time. I would say that is real time. So
well, you see, I work on a higher order, and I see things a lot differently than most. All right, I'm going to just try to run through this as I can. Um, so here's our base layout. What we've got up at the top is whether or not we're choosing pure random or entering a seed. I just need to make sure that I don't have that on yet. I will get there. Um, so pure random, or you can feed it a seed value. That's just up at the top. Preference. Currently I don't have one. And then crack width. Crack width is well, it's interesting because what I can do with it is I can either have it completely sealed like this. Maybe I want to have it that way. I can't slide a business card in between the cracks of each of the things, where I can roll this up and I can start getting a separation. Now, you might wonder why I would want to have a separation. Well, maybe this is a modeling thing. If I took this and did it onto like a flat path that's got a little bit of a thickness, I could create flagstones. I could create a rock wall that has, stacks, and I want to see that. But I have found, and as most of our users would probably want, is that if you stick it at 0.0001, I haven't been able to see that render in a render. So that's a great value, a great place to have that for using it with bullet. And I'll get there. Yes, I will. Apply detail. This is actually fracturing inside of the box, so that the planes on the inside are not as perfect. Um, and that can be useful, especially if you're doing something that you're going to wind up seeing the end result on. Down here at the bottom, this is where we get fun. Currently, I'm using endpoints in mesh. This is just a Voronoi, and I've got 16 random points inside of the mesh that's being used to break this up. I can change it to rectangular cells, and rectangular cells, you see, is like running it through a bandsaw. I can tell it how many per count, per axis, and then below that I can jitter it. And this jittering is what's really kind of interesting, because that's where you get to, and I just did like Sean. I'm gesturing with my hands and no one can see it. You can jitter those verticals and get it to create something, entirely different. Now we get fun. These are the where this little handle is. And I've just got to show you this right off. As the beginning here, it's 000, so it's fracturing literally from the center. So if I come in here and select this polygon and pull this out, you'll see it's fracturing from inside that cube. For me, that's just that is so cool. I imagine trying to almost do like gem cutting. But what this allows me to do is that point I can place. So I can actually click onto the surface of my object, and I can plan where the thing is going to break from. So like maybe I'm going to break it from down here on the corner, or maybe from up on top or something. Again, we have the number of fracture points. And for me, it's one of those things that the random, because I've got it on pure random, every time I roll one of these values, it's going to be different. So if I go down to 14, back to 15, 14, back to 15, it's going to be different every time. So I can kind of keep adjusting that and keep wiggling it until if I see a render error or a flatness error, I can just kind of keep rolling it and rubbing it to get it to go away. That's and then down here, radial. And as you can see here, this is different. When you were looking at this on the cube, it looks kind of useless. But if you think about it as being on a more thin cube, this is starting to behave more like a bullet hole or a point hole fracture on something that's flat. Now, I'm going to come back here to spherical cells and show you secondary. Now, this is the apply secondary. So this is the initial crack, and thank you. I can apply secondary, which will say do more past that. And as you can see, I just got a little thing there. So I can come back here to base and scrub that out, scrub it back and find it and be happy. So you see what this is now doing with the secondary. This is secondary iteration. So let's go further. How many of the value to break? So I'm saying a quarter of them. And then maximum secondary 5. So that's where you're seeing the little, and I'm going to steal a little bit of thunder from one of our other plugins, the spider webbing inside of the given fractures. Now, here's the fun part about this particular fracture tool is I'm looking at this and I see, oh my goodness, I've got a giant block right here. I can drop the tool, select it, connected, and then run fracture again. And let's break him over here. So I can break things in place where my randomizer has decided, well, I'm going to ignore that place. I'll do that one again.
That is so cool.
Fracture him by popping them here, moving it there, something like this. Select all of that, fracture. Ooh, another giant one. So we can fracture him.
I got a question. Can it do fractured teeth for the next person that asks about foam?
I'm going to say foam is definitely.
So what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to do this real quick. So I'm going to save this object as my try here because I have a scene already loaded up. To drop it and fracture it using bullet.
That is so cool.
Now, one of the things that it does automatically currently, it does give you a cut surface. So I can change the color of the broken surface inside. But you can see here, the 0.0001. I don't see him.
You can't see at all. That's amazing.
So if I show, let's see if I go here to this and actually select him, there's all the cracks.
In fact, that is a post filter tool that I've actually started working on. I haven't mentioned.
What, cracks?
Yeah, when you export that to MDD, you add my new plugin on top, and what it'll do is it'll detect those surfaces inside, merge the points, and remove the interior surfaces. So you then, if it's glass, you ain't going to see the cracked surfaces inside because they're non-existent.
Just a quick question. I think Ben's already answered actually, but someone asked, do you have a glue strength? And I think Bullet
of course, that's built into Bullet.
Yeah, that's right.
Totally built in. So that, my friends, is the new fracture. I will make mention of some things coming.